let's. Do you want to say it now, or do you want to wait a little?
We could wait a little. We could wait till we get some people in here to talk about what's going
Okay.
on.
Awesome. Awesome. Looking forward to hearing it then. Sco, where have you been? Haven't seen your face in a while. Mr. Dante Lopez, good morning. Ben Williams,
We got
Legal
Ben.
Garcia. Yes, sir. Mr.
What's
Ben
up,
Williams
guys?
is
What's
here.
up? What's
Good
up?
morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Phenomenal. It's a Willy Wonka Wednesday for me.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
You guys got anything cool going on?
what's that?
You guys got any good news? Anything cool going on?
Yeah.
Well, John does for sure.
Let's go. What you got, John?
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to share here. I'm gonna tag everybody here just 1 second.
Yeah. You hold off on it. I'll share some news while we wait on your. Because I feel like you got some big news.
Okay.
I ratified a novation this morning, so sold a deal.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm hyped about that.
talk to us about the deal.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I had this deal come to me via PPC. The guy originally wanted I think 60,000 for it, and after looking at the numbers, I literally was like, I could at max sell this for 50. At most, I could sell it for 50. And so I honestly kind of ghosted the seller. I was just like, this isn't even going to be worth the time. Even like a referral fee, I wouldn't make any, enough money for it to be worth my time. So but then he ended up messaging my CRM. Like we send out automatic text or whatever, and he texted back again. He was like, "I just want to sell this thing. Like I don't care anymore." And the second he texted us, I called him immediately,
Mhm.
and then I locked it up with him right there at 25K.
Wow.
And then yeah, we ended up doing a full novation on it. I sold it for 47, and buyers paying all closing costs.
Let's go.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the best part is the buyers paying those closing costs. I've never had a novation where we got an offer like that, so it's cool, like just to experience that because now it's like, damn, that's possible. Like to ask the buyer to pay all of it.
Absolutely.
So,
Fantastic
but yeah,
job.
that was cool.
Where was this deal
Yeah,
in?
thank you. I think it's Bay City, Texas.
Bay City, Texas. Love it.
Yeah, let me
It's
double.
close to like
Let me go.
Houston, right?
Yeah, I'll actually give you guys the address. I'm not. We're already ready to close. I'm trying to figure out. Sorry, my CRM's been slow. Yeah, 1220 Avenue D, Bay City, Texas.
Nice. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So this is proof of concept for the next one.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Awesome. Where'd you get the lead from? Oh, you said PPC.
PPC.
Are
I've
you
got a
doing-
lot of JV partners that run
Yep.
PPC ads and
Mhm.
kind of just shuttle their leads to me right now because they're trying to learn innovation or trying to really learn wholesale. So I kind of will partner with a couple dudes. They'll pay for their ads. I'll convert them and kind of hold their hand through it, and we'll split it.
That's the best. That's the
Yep. So I literally spent no money in marketing last month. $0.
There you go. Love it.
that.
Love it.
Yep. So that's how.
That's awesome.
Congrats.
Thank you guys. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I was pumped up.
I had a question for you, Ben.
Absolutely, man. What's up?
Hey, so with that novation, so I'm in Michigan, right?
Yeah.
I'm also a recruiter. So is there like a specific way to do the novation? Because I just listed one yesterday. All I did was just go the regular phases and just, put in the description of like, listing agent has equitable interest in the middle of like all this like, bullshit people do to make it sound good. Is there any tips
Okay,
you
so
have?
you're doing the novation and you're the listing agent.
Yeah, because I'm also licensed in Michigan.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be the
Nope.
listing agent at all because you already
Oh.
have. I mean, yeah, you put it in the description that you have equitable interest, but that's just going to raise a whole lot of red flags for a whole lot of buyers and probably raise concern for that seller. I would fire
Absolutely.
yourself as that listing agent, give it to somebody else. Even if you give up 5%, it's not worth that headache. You can go
Yeah.
find another deal in the amount of time that'll make you have to deal with all that bullshit.
Well,
Gotcha.
I wouldn't
gotcha.
fire myself. I would just step down and resign.
But yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So then just basically change the listing agent to somebody else in my group, basically.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And I mean,
Okay.
if you really want to, like, you can even charge that listing agent a referral fee if you really want money that like that. I probably wouldn't, but
Gotcha. Because
Yeah.
this one, it's a deal in Saginaw, so it's not like a common area like around Metro Detroit where it's super popular. I was just wondering, like, how long does it usually take for your novation? Because this is my first, like, basically novation deal, like doing it on market, just because I'm just trying to close it faster.
yeah, in the least sarcastic and smart ass way possible, the deal closes when it's finished. Like, because there's no way that to be able to set parameters. The hardest thing for me for 2 years was trying to anticipate when a deal was going to close. And then it would set an expectation in me. And then when that expectation wasn't fulfilled, I would feel like I had failed or I had done something wrong, when in reality, it just takes time. So, like, if I would just focus on today, what needs to be done to move this deal forward, do as much as you can, and then let go of it.
Gotcha.
Because a lot of times we'll just try to stay there on the deal and keep working shit out, and it'll just mess it up.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Well, and the other reason that I will say, just to, like, put this in your head, as far as, like, I'm imagining you probably want to be doing novations and wholesaling full time, right?
Well, yeah, that's the plan, is to go full time, because right now I'm an engineer, but I'm just wholesaling part time until I scale up to that part.
Then spend your time learning that task. Don't spend your time being a real estate agent.
Yeah, no, I'm not being an agent. I haven't even done an agent deal. I just do all wholesales because
Right.
way more money.
Well, what I'm saying is stay in that role as the novator. Don't try to commingle as like, oh, I'll also be the real estate agent. Like, be comfortable enough to be like, hey, I'll operate the deal, I'll oversee it, but put people in that place, because like eventually you're going to have people to leverage and to scale.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. That's all I had, though.
You're shit on your first deal.
Well, this is like my 9th deal or 10th, something like that,
Okay. I
for
thought
the
you said
year.
your first. My bad.
No, first
Okay.
novation, but I've done like already 8 deals this year.
Nice job.
Oh, let's go, dude. Yeah, you're crushing.
Let's go.
Thank you.
2 a month, not bad. Average, not bad.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Now we got to get it up to 5.
Hey, yeah, you're not lying. I'm not lying, because I mean, you're not lying, but I talked to
No, I'm
Dan
not.
one time too. Yeah, I know. I talked to Dan one time too, and I was asking about Nick Perry's stuff, because I'm thinking about taking that next leap. I just got to do more cold calls to get more experience. Just talking with sellers, but I am confident. I just want just more experience, but trying to do like 7-figure cartel.
I told him you're coming, so you better not let me down. I messaged him today. So I got a guy, Jordan. He's coming. I'm gonna look out for him. I'm gonna take care of him. So he's waiting for you. Don't ruin my reputation.
No. I got 3 pending right now, actually, and then a deal 20,000 closing in May. So I'm gonna spend all that money for the business. So
Go.
yeah, I'll look out for you, Dan. Hopefully, everything goes well in these deals, and I'm just reinvesting it all back into the business. I haven't pocketed anything yet.
What a way to start.
Don't
the
worry.
day, ladies and gentlemen.
Long-term strategy. Don't worry.
Yep.
What's up, Dan?
Well, guys.
Sorry,
Well,
all right, man.
It sounds
How are
like
you?
we got some people in here. We got Mr. Bob Sadai joining us today. I'm excited to share what Matt and I have been working on. I think this is gonna make Bob very proud. Matt and I just locked in a $0 down sub 2 on a VA
Nice.
loan.
Let's go.
3.6%.
3.6. Love it.
Yep.
Love it.
What's the purchase price of the property?
So they owe like $261,000 on the mortgage, and then they owe like 52 grand for the solar panels on the house. So all in,
You can take it over though, right?
We could take it over, or we could just make the payments on his behalf.
That's what I mean. Take over making the payments rather than paying it off, the 52K.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, so that's where we're at. Matt, yesterday in 16 minutes, he told me it was really late at night. I was anxious. I got the text. He says, "Yeah, this one's already assigned. It's already gone." I said, "What? How much did it sell for?" He said, "Well, I've already got an offer at 12K." I said, "12K? I think we might be leaving some money on the table." He's like, "Well, I don't think it would sell more than 15." I said, "Okay, well, let's wait here. You know, we don't have to take an immediate offer." He says, "Oh, well, the guy's up. He's at 16,000 now." 16,000 in 16 minutes. This man's worked $1,000 a minute. All right, a minute of his time is worth $1,000 on the dispo.
Love it. Love it. Love
That's
it.
wild.
Congratulations, guys.
But
So
I
do
gotta say
you
this, Bob.
do you understand though how much you've saved the seller?
50, easily 50 grand plus, easily.
There you go. There you go.
And I'll tell
And
you-
explain to people why.
It's because this guy's upside down on his mortgage. The house isn't worth what he owes on the property. So if he were to go and sell that property for what it's worth, about 300 grand, after paying the agent commission, paying the solar off at closing, he'd have to come out of pocket about 50 grand to get this thing off his name. So I explained to him, I did everything live so everybody could see how I actually made the calls and answered objections to everything with Matt. A lot of the underwriting wasn't saved. Unfortunately, the audio was kind of messed up, but I know we tried for the most part to get as much as possible, you know, of those calls out for everybody to see. And what I did was I called him up, and originally I had explained to him why we were trying to give him 8 grand. It was about what we thought the equity might be if you were to sell it, and then pay all the realtor commissions and everything, but we didn't know about those solar panels. And having known about that, I gave him a call back. I said, "Hey, look, you know, you wouldn't actually net 8 grand if you were to sell this on market because of those solar panels. You'd actually have to come out of pocket about 50 grand to sell this thing." And he completely understood. He definitely agreed. I walked him through step by step where I was coming from, so he didn't think I was just bullshitting him. And I asked him, I said, this is very important. I asked him, I said, "Would you let us take over this debt if we paid the cost of closing?" I made it very clear. We wouldn't be giving him any money at closing. We'd be taking over his responsibility for this debt. And he was cool with it. He's a real cool guy. You know, he's an active militant, so he's serving our country. We want to help out veterans, you know, and active military, people that are serving us. We want to be able to serve them too. We saved this guy from having to come out of pocket 50 grand to sell this thing.
That's incredible.
There you go.
And I gotta say
Great
this,
breakdown.
man. Listen, if it wasn't for Bob getting up here and talking creative and like making this a space where people weren't just thinking about cash, and it wasn't for Matt getting in here and talking with Bob and having somebody to have a conversation with, and somebody like me to just be able to sit here and listen to the two masters just go back and forth, this would have never been possible. So huge shout out to you both. Thank you very much. I'm beyond blessed and grateful to be in proximity with all of you guys. Guys, REI Revolution is really, truly the #1 most valuable real estate community in existence. I say this every day because I truly believe it. And I can't tell you like how many deals I've been able to actually do just because of the people I know and hear. So seriously, thank you.
Well, we appreciate that. And I think
Oh, yeah.
Matt and I
That's awesome.
probably awakened a giant here in John Johnson. And hopefully,
Literally 6'6" giant.
there you go. And hopefully we'll awaken more of you people to this. I'm sure we've already had one of your eyes opened. Hopefully we'll have both eyes open and wide open to this beautiful strategy. So congratulations again, John and Matt. That's wonderful. Mr.
It's just not that,
Youssef.
again,
Yeah.
he looked for something in that conversation.
What were you saying, Matt?
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say, you didn't do anything overcomplicated. You just knew what to listen for when you got on the phone with that individual. That wasn't a phone call that you made where creative was your goal. Your goal was to talk to this guy. It was a lead of yours and figure out what the best strategy would be for him to get that deal done. And after talking to him, realizing he hasn't lived there that long, he's a veteran, so he probably put $0 down. He's got the solar, all of these things. He's got to relocate. There's a lot of factors that were in place that made you realize, like, okay, cash is not going to be where we go with this. This guy doesn't have time for a novation. We can't list it and wait 60, 90 days potentially. This is probably only going to be a creative solution for this individual. So it's just, again, sometimes it's just not that complicated. You just have to know who you're talking to and what that solution is going to be.
I 100% agree, and that's the importance of being able to diagnose the seller's situation and understanding what is going to be the best solution for them. And the thing is, I don't even have the paperwork to do this deal. I just knew what I should be listening for, the information that I need to gather so that I can bring it to someone like Bob, bring it to somebody like Matt, so we can structure this deal and get paid. Because if I don't have that solution for them, but I know somebody who does, I can still help that seller and still get paid. That lead doesn't have to be considered dead just because I don't know how to do something with cash or a novation on it. So really, guys, it just goes back to the power of this community and really just working with the people that are here ready to help you. So I'm excited. I'm beyond blessed, and I'm blessed to be in proximity with all of you. You all have the same opportunity that I do to be able to work with the individuals that come here every single day that are active in this community. You just got to know what to listen for when you're on the phone, when you're talking to these people.
It's easy to be excited in the morning when you went to bed with a 16K assignment right before bed, huh? It's funny how things can turn around.
You know what?
Someone said it's a roller coaster, I think, right?
Yeah.
When are y'all closing? How quick?
I think
he wants to be out of there
May 17th. Yeah, May 17th. We could close it much sooner, but I think he needs to be out. He's going to New York. So I think with his relocation military plans, I think it's going to be mid-April. I think the buyer said 5/17, and I think he'll probably agree. So anything there or sooner, hopefully.
That's incredible. Good for you guys.
Thank you.
All right, Yusuf, you've been patiently waiting.
Thank you, guys. I actually had a couple questions. I'm 18. I live in Austin, Texas. I've been studying wholesaling for a month and a half, but my problem is I can't find deals in Texas because they're just so expensive. Like every house here in the Pflugerville area next to Round Rock, it's all houses are above 550,000.
Texas sucks. Get out of Texas. Don't even worry about Texas.
It's not like we're doing a deal there right now.
We're teasing you, Joseph. Texas is one of the best states to be working in. Okay?
Okay.
And when you say that there are no deals, there are tons of deals, and not just in Texas. Even though I probably would rank Texas as one of the top 3 states that I'd want to do business.
Number one for us.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So there is a lot of business in Texas. There are a lot of houses that can be sold and bought. Doesn't matter if it's 50K, 500K, or 5 million. The main thing is go find your buyers so that you know what they're looking for. Okay?
Okay.
Where's PDRE? I haven't seen that guy in a long time. PDRE and I always preach, find your buyers first. Find your buyers first.
Yes, sir.
Okay? There's a reason for that, because if you don't have your buyers, you don't know what to buy. You don't know what a deal is. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So go find your buyers. Here's a good rule of thumb. If you guys are submitting, let's say if you're talking to 5 leads a day to buy their houses, you need to be talking to 5 buyers a day as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So have your buyers lined up, know what they're looking for, and then that 550 is going to be like, I got that sold, no problem.
Yes, sir.
Ben Williams
Thank you.
eats those 550 houses like they're energy bars, man. They're nothing.
Absolutely. 550, I love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That just means more
Choosing
profit.
just like middle class people that people don't have real conversations with.
So you guys would suggest it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be for my first deal. It wouldn't have to be like a lower type of house, like a lower price type of house.
Jesus, no.
What
Don't
I would
limit
tell you
yourself.
if I were you, if I was 18 and I had been doing this for a month and a half, is I would find somebody in this community out wherever you
There you
can
go.
that's already doing like 2 deals a month, and just go to that person and go, what should I be looking for?
Yes,
Because
sir.
they're going to have a way better idea of what a deal looks like than you will. Not, I'm sure you're plenty intelligent. You're incredibly intelligent, at least for being 18 to be in this group. But there's just, you don't know what you don't know. So just find
Yeah.
somebody that knows, and then ride that train until you can get off and build your own.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. That's really all I had.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Have a good day, all of you.
Keep up the great work, man. You got the world in front of you.
Oh
okay,
yeah.
as your jewel. You're 18. You've already
Hey,
started
dude,
in
let
one
me
of the.
borrow.
Yeah, right.
Let me borrow
Stop.
like 5 or
Stop.
6 years, dude.
I'll
Stop.
take them.
Stop.
I'll take 10.
Yeah.
Shave off a few, will ya?
I didn't start till I was 23, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a side note to North Austin, like that area has been booming. It's newer, right? Like people weren't
North
going up towards Pflugerville and Georgetown and all that type of stuff for a
Yeah.
while because that was considered far away. You know, when I went
Yeah.
to school in Austin, it was like Georgetown, what's up there? You know,
Yeah.
Pflugerville getting a skate park was like big news. It was like a big deal. So, I mean, you might end up in situations where you end up calling Matt for creative stuff because I think a lot of Austin right now, especially, it's a market where people expect a specific price, but they might not be able to get it in a traditional sale with net proceeds being very minimal to them. So while you're calling, and don't be scared of the price point, that's a very cheap
Yeah, I
price
was-
point.
Yeah, I think I was just intimidated by the prices because they're like I always thought my first day would have to be on the lower than 100, but and then I
And
came in
I'll-
Mr. Open and you guys were talking about
I'll
highs
tell
and
you a
stuff.
story. I went to the county court steps for an auction in Texas one time, and I had $250,000 in cashier's checks, thinking I was the freaking man. And I quickly realized that there were guys that had many more cashier's checks than I did. And it kind of opened my eyes up to exactly how much money is out there when you're talking real estate investment for
Yeah.
people willing to buy stuff. We never picked up a property with those checks. We just kept getting outbid. So don't be too nervous that people aren't going to be buying stuff. If it's making money, people will look into it. They will figure out a way. So get on out there, get used to listening to, I think sincerely listen to some of these calls that like Matt does, where he's talking about sub 2 creative. I think your market specifically is going to really, that would help. So definitely something I would look at.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely, man.
Have a good day.
You too.
I want to add to kind of the meta that we've been setting here about talking to buyers. I think very, very important. 100% need to talk to buyers, need to talk to people actively in the business. But I also believe you need to do market research in these areas to find out in the state that you're targeting, what are the hottest counties. If you can find a deal in one of the hottest counties, you can be certain that if you get it at a price that's going to make sense, it's going to sell because there's already so many transactions happening there. So on top of reaching out to these buyers and people that are actively flipping in these areas that you're marketing in, do some market research and find out what are the hot markets in the state that you're targeting. What are the hottest counties? Go find those counties and market in those places.
I'll dig deeper than that even, John. I love what you said with the counties. I'd go to the zip codes too. And then once you have the zip codes down, go down to the neighborhoods. Okay? Which neighborhoods are having the most buyers buying right now, today? And that's where you want to be.
What I'll also do is whenever I'm talking to sorry to cut you off, Bob.
No, go for it.
Whenever I talk to a buyer and I ask, what are those areas, what are those zip codes, like really get dialed in on that location, I'll also go, why this area? Why a 3-bedroom, 2-bath? Why do you want it to have 1 acre? Like why I want to know every reason as to why this is built in their buy box. because a lot of times they'll give me a piece of information like, oh, well, they're actually doing an Apple development on that side of Texas, so our company's going to spend a lot more money, especially in these couple neighborhoods. And like that information is very, very valuable whenever I'm going to go talk to a real estate agent or go talk to a seller or talk to another potential buyer, because that's information that that other buyer didn't have. And now I can, introduce even more motivation for another potential investor, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
100%. It goes back to
Yep.
market research, understanding why buyers are buying what they're buying and where they're buying at.
Matt, where's that loom from? Like
That's
what
from
year?
that's 12 months or less.
Really?
Yeah, but it just shows you how to use the feature. So it's not necessarily.
Yeah.
I think I point out a market or two in there just for the video's sake, but it's just how to use the feature on PropStream. So it's kind of like an evergreen video that as long as you know how to access it, you'll be able to find. But I don't know if I pointed out any specific markets. I think that video was specifically just how to use the feature. But I think it was
I
like
got a
12,
question.
11 or 12 months ago.
Cool. Yes, Sam.
Sorry, I just woke up, so that's why it's not funny. I just saw the link and I was like, I got to join. So my question is like, how do I find a buyer? Because like I'm also kind of new to this. Like last year, I did some research and I kind of gave up because I was only just watching YouTube videos. But now, like I joined the Discord, I'm getting help. How do I find like buyers? Because I know one buyer that like I met through a social event from a program. But like, how do I find more than just one buyer? Because like, let's say I find a property and I think like, okay, this property could sell. Let's say I start talking to the homeowner, but then I realize, oh, this property is not going to be a good fit for my cash buyer that I have right now. How do I like find more than one cash buyer?
Go ahead, Bob. You answer this.
I was just quickly going to say it, and then I'm afraid 9:00 I got to jump off again. But so watch that Loom video that Matt just put up. Okay, if you have
Okay.
access to PropStream, that definitely helps. Okay, there are other ways of finding buyers. The freeway would be like places like Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. You can go there. Go
Mhm.
find all the sold properties that were sold cash. Okay, contact the
Right.
agents. Those people will have the cash buyers or are the cash buyers themselves. Okay. But if you've got access to places like Privy, PropStream, things of that nature, I think John has a link for both of them where you can join them. It costs a little bit of money, but they're worth every penny. Okay. You
Yeah.
got to understand, you're getting involved in a business, and a business needs money to run. Okay. You need to
Yeah.
invest in yourself first and then your business. Okay. So
Yeah.
spend some money if you can. If you can't, go get a job first and then use your extra income. Okay. Whatever
Yeah.
that's left over from your basic needs, then use that to build your business. And one of the
I used to
first
have like
tools.
a PropStream subscription, and I just was like, it was just a waste of money because I didn't know what I was doing back then. It was just kind of running, and I would just look at it and be like, what do I do with this?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. It was a waste of your money because you
Yeah.
weren't ready to use it. But
Yeah,
PropStream
that's-
is not a waste of money. Let's make sure that everybody understands that.
Okay, I should
PropStream
have
is still
probably
a great
stated
tool.
that. Yeah.
No, you did, and I just was confirming it. That's all.
Yeah.
So, but I think PropStream also has tutorials, and they can now provide more assistance to you one-on-one. So you can reach out to them and go, hey, I need help in this area. How do I use PropStream? And they'll go through detail with you. Okay, so they can help you out.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you very
Man,
much for answering
got
my
it.
question.
You got it. I miss you guys, man. I wish I could be here more, but I got to jump
We
off
want you
again.
back, Bob.
We do.
Love it. Friday
All right.
Friday at noon, my time, 3 p.m. your time. I'll be here. I'll talk
Thank
to
you
you
for
guys
your
later.
help.
Have a great day, everyone. Take care.
Take care, Bob.
Take care, Bob. But yeah, I think PropStream, like you had mentioned, it's like a gym membership. You can use it or not use it. It could just sit there and you're paying $20 out of your account, and if you don't know what you're doing or you're not going there, obviously you're not gonna make any progress with it. And so, and if you go there and you actually use the gym, and you're gonna see results. So I would either it and play around with it, figure out what to do, or get with somebody in the community that has PropStream, and you guys can do screen shares and figure out all the features, figure out what you're doing, so that way you can implement it, get it. And if that's you can get batch, you can get PropWire, PropStream, whatever you want, but make sure you understand how to use it, and you're in the right place.
Yeah, like I think you used a good analogy with the gym membership, because when I had PropStream, I only used it because like I know how to use it from the YouTube videos. And since I live in Seattle, Washington, so that's probably going to be like helpful for later. When I had PropStream, I would look up properties that were like 90 days or like 60 days old. And most of these properties were just really overpriced, but really like nice houses. That's probably why they weren't selling. So like I would be like, I can't wholesale this. This house is worth like $1 million, like, and it's really, really nice. There's like no shot of wholesaling this. So that's why I thought like
Before you learn,
PropStream.
but I would say if you were like starting out learning wholesaling, right now it would be more valuable for you to spend time learning how to like actually find what is a true deal in real estate, like what would a deal look like, and then go look for the deals. Because right now you're not fully aware of what you're necessarily looking for, and like your intentions are all in the right place. So I'm not trying to knock you with what you're doing, but I would maybe recalibrate and focus on learning what an opportunity looks like. And then once you have that box, then take it out into the marketplace and try to see what fits that box.
Right.
I think we could kind of
That actually makes a lot of
repurpose
sense.
that term bird dog here. I think before it was kind of useless, but I think maybe we should bring that back. There is a lot of value, ladies and gentlemen, in just being able to diagnose the seller's situation like I did with this Texas deal, and bring it to somebody like Matt, bring it to somebody like Ben, bring it to somebody like me, bring it to somebody like Dan, somebody that has closed multiple deals, and do a deal with that person. Because if you don't, what's the alternative? You're just going to have a conversation with somebody, and then that's it. There's no money that comes from it.
Do you guys like have any tips when you're talking to a seller? Because like I've seen like you cold call someone, and like you've had like an effective conversation, even though like the conversation from my side looked like it was completely downhill, but I've seen you like turn it around. Like how do you do something like that?
I like to start with the end in mind. So I know that by the end of this call, I'm on this call because I want to earn money and I want to help this seller. And I think that call that you were listening to, that lady was all over the place, but she filled out a form online. She raised her hand and said, I need help. So when somebody like that fills out a form online, I know that person needs help. They told me they need help. So I need to be in the right mentality to be patient, listen to them, hear their process out, because it's very likely that that person does not have anybody else in their life that's willing to help them. So I got to be that person, and that person might be a difficult person to work with, but I've got to be patient enough to work with them.
Also, though, like what Ben was saying, now is a good time for you to like educate yourself on what a deal is, what it isn't, being able to identify those things. So when you hear these calls in the community, like whatever call you're referencing with John, and you hear him turn a conversation around, because John has the ability to identify a deal, identify scenarios, things like that. So during that conversation, you can pivot and learn where to go. If you don't have the information or the expertise or anything, and you're going to be lost. It's like trying to get somewhere without GPS or a map. You're going to get lost. If you got the map or the GPS, you got the information, you'll know how to navigate that conversation. And so if it starts going one way, you know how to pivot and get it back the other way. You're playing a dance, but you're somewhat in control because you're the person with the knowledge and the information. If you don't have it, you're going to get lost. Whatever they say, you're just going to go for it. Okay, no problem, because you don't know. I want $500,000 for my house. Okay, well, if I don't know any better, sure, 500,000. I think I locked up a deal. And somebody that actually knows what they're talking about goes and runs the numbers. They're like, that's not a deal. You didn't know what you were looking for. So educating yourself is the hands down the best thing you can do in the very beginning. Then everything else will fall into place after that.
So when you say like educate myself on what a deal looks like should like is there like a way of doing that like where I could just like join calls or just like because I understand what you're saying, but at the same
It's
time
just
it
like
is
trying
kind
to
of
learn any other. It's just like trying to learn any other skill. Like if you're trying to
right,
figure out the fastest way to fold your clothes, you'd probably just look it up on Google.
right,
You know, like not trying to
yeah,
be like a smart aleck, but like genuinely, dude. There's so much free information. My entire
yeah,
business. I mean, sure, I've spent money on courses, but 90% of my business was just YouTube. Literally,
Yep.
YouTube and podcast. Just
okay,
completely submerging myself in the information until it got to a point where I had to either learn it or went crazy.
right,
I think people overcomplicate this business 1,000%, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the money thing. They see people with the checks and the big things, and so they're like, "This must be complicated, or this must be something." And it's like, how do you think about anything else that you know in life? What else do you know about? What else are you educated in? How did you learn those things? You read books on it, or you watched videos, like Ben was saying. You consumed information until you understood that topic and that subject matter. It's the same with this, or hands-on experience. How do you learn how to build a house? You can go watch a bunch of how-to videos on YouTube and learn that way, or go get with a company, go get with somebody and go build a house, get hands-on. So it's the same with wholesaling. Go YouTube University, look everything up, figure it out, get inside the community, ask questions, and or be hands-on. Get with somebody who's actually doing the business. Look at these deals straight on while they're underwriting it, looking at the numbers, running comps and all that kind of stuff. Get that hands-on experience so you know what, get in on those phone calls so you can hear those objections, hear those conversations, what seller calls sound like, what to expect. Just prepare yourself for those scenarios. Don't
It's
okay,
overcomplicate it, for
it's
sure.
funny. It's funny that
And you're
Sam
doing it
asked.
right now. You're educating yourself right now. You're doing the right thing right this second.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And we do a bunch of calls. We talk to sellers live. Like we do all this stuff live for people. But it's funny that Sam kind of asked, like, is there like a specific place I could go for education? Um, Something like that would require a little bit of time to put together. But I don't think Sam is the only person that would benefit from something like that. Is there anybody in the chat that would appreciate us giving a category called education, creating a category in the community called education with just channels specifically dedicated to finding deals, finding buyers, finding sellers, creative stuff, understanding the seller situation and why these are good opportunities, why you do this kind of stuff. But if there was a price associated with that, how many of you all would be willing to pay for that education?
I low key would like personally. I'm not a person that's like into like the
What do you
buying
think that would
courses
be worth, Sam? Like, how much would you spend on it
like it
a
depends
month?
because there's more to this than just like that. There's the like probably the face value and then the actual in-depth value. So just like me having access to it and then being like there's I'd give it like a good value probably like maybe like VIP membership. So I'd be like I'm gonna say like $50. I'd be willing to pay that. Like no hesitation. I would actually buy that because I feel like it's a lot more helpful than just looking it up on YouTube because you guys are like real people and this is like your real life situation. So if you guys do this, right, you're doing it for a real reason. Then if I go on YouTube, this guy might just be making more money from the YouTube videos than he is from wholesaling. So I don't know if I'm getting like genuine content. Whereas like here, I'm directly watching you, like you're live doing it in front of me, right? So I can't play this off. I actually like it's in front of me, and I have to learn it. So I would say like
I'll say the way that I learn, like I know a lot of people are like go YouTube University, right? And so like
yeah,
I deal primarily with creative, right? And there's certain
yeah,
individuals in the creative space that everybody references when they talk creative. But if you go to that one of those individuals' YouTube page, there are thousands of hours. So if I put myself in the brand new position, I'm starting day one, and I have one specific question, and I go to hit that person's YouTube, I'm going to be spending hours just to
exactly.
find a reference point in that one video to find my question. And maybe he glances on it for a second, and then I just had to consume 6 hours of a video to get to my one possible question that I have. So sometimes it's
Right.
So I will say this Discord community is the first Discord I've ever joined in this type of scenario. So I think it's entirely more beneficial to have this structure with the people that are on the stage or setting up channels, things like that, because those are, if you have a question, you can ask that question directly and not have to fight through 6 to 10 hours of other content in order to get to that potential answer for that question. So to me, the way that I learn, the way that I understand things, this would be far more valuable to me than to any YouTube, just because you can get with what you're seeing and having to fight through all that. For me personally.
Yeah, and when I say for to learn on YouTube, I mean, when I'm thinking about that, the reason that I say that is because that's how I learned. And mind you, it took me 2 years before I was like even consistently doing a deal a month. Like it takes a long time, and like if I would have had this community, holy shit,
dude,
you could just do JV
that's what I
deals. You could find money like that. Like this would be a game changer.
I say the same fucking, like, it'd be like you
It's
said, it
cheap.
took you 2 years.
It's literally cheap.
You probably did well during those 2 years, but think about,
Not
I'm trying to
really.
even reference it. I'm trying to reference it to something else that's like comparable, whether it's this community or something similar. Like I said, this is like that octane, or everything else is like, regular 87 gas. And it's like, that'll get you to where you got to go. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you'll be able to get there, but how long is it going to take to get there? Where this type of community and structure with the direct access, things like that, that's rocket fuel. That'll get you there even.
The biggest thing for me with this community and with like the people that I network with now that I didn't have back then when I started is this community in my network now reinforces my belief that it's 100% possible to make $250,000 a month and not work really at all. Like if you can just chill and make that. And what was so hard in the very beginning is I was articulate and I could understand information well enough to be like, that's how a deal would work. But my belief about money was so limited that I was like, that's impossible. How could that even happen? Now with this exposure of like, you see somebody that's making 300 grand a month, you're going to be like, wait, he does?
Yeah.
Why the fuck am I not? And then it just completely rewires your brain and you just become that guy.
Right.
And then think about some of the people that you've seen making that money, and you're like, who the fuck is that guy? That guy's not.
Literally,
I
no.
talked to that guy. That
Literally.
guy's not.
Yeah.
That guy's no,
yeah.
like, he's not a professor. Like, that guy is a normal dude just like me, if not worse, and he's making 300K. All right, something's wrong.
You just like
here.
go to some conference,
really,
you meet some other 24-year-old kid living in Miami, and you're just like, mother, what? How's this kid doing this to me, dude? Like,
yeah.
but it's all it is. He has access to information that I'm not exposed to yet. And so it's like exposure. The network really is everything because they have the information that you're looking for.
I could personally agree to that probably the most is like Matt was saying earlier, he said like you'd have to watch like 6-hour videos to answer a simple question. I used to do that a lot. Like I'd spend like 2 weeks watching consistent YouTube videos, just mindlessly, like just watching and just waiting for that. Like let's say like it was the most simple question, like where to look for deals. I would probably spend like 2 weeks just trying to find like one YouTube video that would help me. And they would give me like a 2-minute answer. And I would have to write that down and then just like break it down even more. But it's just like I had to spend all that time compared to like probably like the first week I joined. I got told how to use PropWire. I got told how to make a list. I got references to Apex. Like I just got all the stuff like that I would probably just need. And like I was just getting assistance from everything, right? Like some people were telling me like, okay, this is the list you probably want to look at. And then like just the constant like help that I was getting was crazy. So just like even having like a more like direct chat too would be even more like helpful.
You can just ask a question right here in the chat. Like people are like, where can we,
Right.
And it's like, dude, we're up here for 2 hours every single morning. You can literally ask a question right here in the side chat, and then somebody up on stage can look over, read it, and answer your question in real time. That doesn't exist in any other type of structure or community. When I got into lease options as an exit strategy, I had been in real estate for 11 years now, and I understood lease options 90%, but there was like one thing that I was missing that I was like, I just don't understand this part of it. And I kept looking and I was like, I can't really find that answer. And I was scraping YouTube and some of the people I knew in the space that were doing lease options. And I was like, I just can't figure out the thing. And I don't feel comfortable enough to get like fully involved with it until I understand. So John Jackson's out of Texas and I hooked up with him and directly was able to get my question answered. And I was like, that's the missing piece. And relate that back to like this type of community. Like John Jackson's in this community. So it's like if he was up on stage, I would have been able to ask my question. And then there it is. I get my answer. Now all of the puzzle pieces are in line and now I can go do my thing. That was literally the one thing I was missing and he plugged it in for me. So again, for me in the way that I learn, yeah, I could mindlessly go on YouTube and just search and you know, and at the end of it, I'm exhausted, but maybe I learned it and I'm able to go do it now. But in that same 30-day period of me scraping YouTube, could I have been in here for the same 30 days? And where, if we're doing like a timeline, where would I be in 30 days with YouTube and that type of structure? And where would I be if I just spent time in here networking and getting involved in the community? I guarantee I'd be 3 times as far by just doing that.
No, like,
and the thing about it is, like Matt, for example, we've obviously witnessed now he's worth $1,000 a minute, and he's giving you this time. And the other side is, I know for a fact just by watching, and I can read energy pretty well, is if somebody showed up tomorrow on this call with a list of 3 questions and they popped in and they were like, hey, I've been busting my ass, I've got these 3 questions that I really need answered, and they did that for every day, nobody would complain. They'd be like, hell, I swear to God, I would do everything in my power to make sure they got a deal. Like it's that one that just sticks out, that's always trying to get that always trying to do a deal, that's really raising their hand. I'll be the first person to go find them a deal and work it with them. Swear to God.
John, remember
Coach.
Who was he? Coach. Yeah,
He's
that's
gone,
what I'm saying.
Man.
Coach
he's
was somebody
everything. He's just gone. I don't know what he's up to, where he's at. He's just making money, I'm sure.
Coach was literally that guy. He would show up every single morning in the live stream for the morning call, jump up on stage. He had a notepad and a pen and paper, and he'd have 2 or 3 questions because he was doing something yesterday, and then was like during doing that, he was like, man, and so he would come next morning with his questions. We would answer it for him, and then he'd be like, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. REI Rev, love you. Boom. And then he'd get off stage, go implement it. And then tomorrow he would jump up with 3 new questions because he implemented what he learned yesterday. And then because of that, learned 3 new things that he need. And then he was just implementing every day. And we were happy to pour into him because we could see that he was physically doing the work. Every day he'd come in and be like, I talked to this new seller. And so we could see him actually making the progress. And yeah, man, we wanted him to, and he got a deal. Remember, he signed it with that lady. So he ended up getting a deal through the community and through asking the questions. And yeah, man, that stuff feels good. I'm always happy to do that. 100%. Still talk to Coach. He got hired by a real good team, paying him good and just soaking in all the information you got for straight beast. Yes, sir. That's awesome. That's awesome.
If I had like more time to prepare, I'd definitely ask better questions. Because I'm not even joking. Like I woke up, I went on my phone. I literally just I saw TikTok and then I'm like, no, I probably shouldn't do that. It's just like, it's brain rot. Like I'm just going to waste my time. It's like 6 hours of my day is going to go to that. So I randomly opened Discord and I literally went to go watch someone cold call for like 2 hours. And then I saw John's message and it said, guys, we're doing the breakfast with Bob. So I said, okay, let's see what this is. And I just joined that.
Get rid of that.
This was really helpful.
Delete that off your phone.
Yeah, no,
get that garbage out here.
I've got
it's
rid of
so
Instagram recently, man. I'm not really trying to focus on that. I'm trying to just focus on business and REI Rev, and that's in my relationship, and that's it, man. I don't have time for anything else. That's it. At the end of the day, that's really it.
Dude, I have 2 phones. I have like a phone that I use whenever I'm not working, and then I have like the phone like business, and I have nothing on that phone but an email and a DocuSign.
And he sees those emails.
I didn't realize
those DocuSigns getting signed.
That's right, dog. That's right. That's me. I literally ratified that one this morning. It was 6:57 a.m. in Texas, and I was like, bro, ain't nobody doing deals right now but me.
There you go.
No,
just to wake up with crust in their eyes.
Yeah. Well, my assistant texted me and was like, hey, we need a addendum or whatever so we can ratify. And I was like, you know what? Maybe he'll answer. Seller answered. I'm like, hey, we need to get this done. And he's like, all right.
That early, like 6:50 this morning, I called him.
If you're ratifying
Yeah.
at 6:50 a.m., that's a deal. That dude is ready
Oh
to go.
yeah, dog. Oh, he was so happy. He's like, "This has been the best experience." I'm like, "You and me both, man. You and me both."
Yeah. Time stamp. Time stamp.
Yeah.
No, I genuinely think I got to delete TikTok. Like the amount of time I wasted on TikTok, I wish I could invest that into like wholesaling or just anything else. I'd probably make
You
like
can.
I'd
You
get
have that option.
Yeah.
right. I'm going to like shut off TikTok for sure because like recently I was with my friends and they were like, let's just check screen time. I had like because I'm on break, right? So it's like I feel like I don't know. I just I thought like I could be lazy, but then I realized like that's just pointless. And I looked at my screen time. I was clocking in 10 hours a day on my phone. Most of it was just literally like I didn't realize I knew it was like I thought it was bad. I didn't know it was this bad. Like I clocked in like 6-7 hours on TikTok, and it's like
Dude,
TikTok is such short.
I want you to set 5 alarms on your phone sporadically throughout the day, and when that alarm goes off, I want you to think: is what I'm doing right now a poor person's activity or a rich person's activity?
Yeah,
That's kind of aggressive to say, but it's just the truth. What a poor person doing,
Matt liked that
doing,
one.
and stop doing it. And stop doing it. Like, what person makes a lot of money? What would he be doing right now? And then do that. Nobody I know that makes substantial amounts of money even has TikTok on their phone.
No,
Ben,
because
I
like
think you got a different mic. You got to choose the other mic. It's not coming through your headset. It's coming through a different mic, kind of cutting in and out.
Oh, is this
no,
better?
like
Yeah, there you go.
I hate TikTok so much. Like
Sorry, but
when
it
you
was
open
I
up
was
social media,
But
Do
yeah,
what?
when I open my social media, bro, it's like a drain. Like I just I open it and
don't
I'm
worry
like, you know
about it
what?
too much,
Let's
man.
get like
Just delete it. That's
5
all we can tell you.
No,
Yeah.
There's
that's like
nothing
I'm
else.
actually so done. I'm like I didn't realize how much time I was like wasting. I could have been in here like watching cold callers just all day or something.
Dude, I believe
But
you.
that's
You don't
that's
have to
gonna be
convince us.
helpful.
I believe
Yeah.
that you're on your phone too much.
It's nothing that we need to be convinced of. It's so apparent that like so many people are doing that. So it's absolutely believable.
It's so
Especially you
mindless
being
too.
18. Yeah, bro, it's super believable that an 18-year-old is spending 7 hours a day on TikTok, like 100%. So I like Ben's idea about setting that alarm, you know, and having that mindset. And then it's like the other angle of it is like, imagine if somebody was like filming me right now. Would I be proud of what I'm doing right now? Would I feel like I'm being productive if I was being filmed for whatever
Right.
reason? Oh, okay. I should be doing something then that I feel proud of, or that's productive in some sort of way, and not just sitting there and doing whatever. So, oh boy, here
Right.
comes Jordan. What's up,
Yeah, I'm
Jordan?
definitely implying that.
What's up, Matt?
Good morning.
What's up?
How's everybody doing? I want to hop in here, talk to some people.
Good.
Great. Ben, nice to meet you.
That's it.
Good to meet you, brother. Good to meet you, man.
Nope. I want to tell everybody that it is possible through this Discord, actually. And if you surround yourself in your daily life around people that are benefiting you and you are doing things that benefit your mind and praying or meditating or whatever you do, it'll improve your mindset, and that'll just further improve the quality and conversations that you have on the phone. If you wake up and you're negative, it's just going to make your whole day negative. I mean, you can't be having these negative connotations, and you can't be on TikTok all day, and you can't be on Instagram all day, because it just clogs your mind up. And it ultimately is not necessarily saying it's going to make you fail, but it's going to take longer, and you're going to have more drawbacks, and you're going to get frustrated easier. And yeah, I just want to say it's possible if you put your mind to it and do the right things outside and inside this Discord.
Yeah, I mean it's obvious knowledge, but you are who you surround yourself with, and you are what you consume at the same time. And so, you know, and I just it's one of those things where I hate when people are like, I'm not where I want to be, I'm not where, and you're like, all right, and then you look at, you know, if we were to do an audit and we looked at your screen time, we looked at what we're doing, it's like, yeah, no shit, and I'm sorry, I don't feel bad, like you can see what you're doing too.
And I will say this, and this is full transparency. When I was in high school, like I've not always been this person. Like I was a cheap dopamine person that just wanted to party and do a lot of dumb shit. But you have to get to a point where you realize that the emotions that you're having are because you're denying what your highest self and what your purpose in life is. Like when you're out partying and you're scrolling on TikTok, the reason you feel depressed or feel like shit or feel like you have no self-confidence is because you're literally telling your body, this is what I'm worth. I'm worth scrolling on my phone. But when you actually embody what your purpose is on this planet, and I imagine if you're going to show up and listen to people talk for an hour, you have some inclination to make a lot of money. Seek that purpose, seek that being that highest self, and get rid of all this cheap ass dopamine, because it's like, look at you, like more than likely, if you don't have a lot of money, look at the people that are around you. They're not happy either. So to take advice from them is waste of time. And over time, you will grow to resent and dislike those people. I'm speaking from experience. It's much easier. Give them the fucking scissors right now. Move on with your life. Delete TikTok.
100%.
Especially if you're doing that shit and you don't feel guilty afterwards either. Like if you all of a sudden like spend 7 hours scrolling and afterwards you don't feel like shit, or you feel good, or you're out all night long partying and the next morning you don't feel depressed, guilty, whatever it is, there's something wrong there. And I agree with Ben. Like we moved to Tennessee from the south side of Chicago. Like all my friends that are in dive bars all day long, almost 40 years old, still at the bars till 3 a.m., still drinking in the same garages that we were drinking in high school. Like if I have to ever go back there for a birthday party, it's the most depressing thing ever. And I feel bad. There's a part of me that does feel bad because I don't want to feel like I'm better than that. But it's not that I'm better than them. I'm better than that situation. It doesn't serve me anymore in those occasions. And it's sad to see. We go there and it's literally the same people. Like they haven't done a single thing and they'll still sit there and bitch. Oh, I wish I had this. Or it's like, do you though? Do you really wish that? Because I'm just like Ben. I was a idiot in high school, and I spent only a few semesters in college, and I worked my way through, and I ended up quitting college. I didn't graduate. None of those things. I would spend 2 weeks at a time visiting friends in college, like sleeping on their couch while they were actually getting an education, doing shit. Like I was the kid that nobody thought I was going to be doing anything, and then I just got sick of it, and now some of them are doing the same stuff. So it's like, do you really wish that you were doing better or making more money or succeeding or whatever? Because your actions will show it. You know, show us the screen time,
100%.
show us those things. That'll show if you really do wish it or not, or are you just saying it because the people around you are also saying it? And it's easy to say it, right? It's easy to be in a group of 5 or 10 of your friends and you're all bums and be like, yeah, we wish. Yeah, it's easy to say it, but who's actually going to do it? It's cliche, but it's honestly anybody up on the stage, anybody that talks and he's like, it's a do it thing, not a wish it thing.
It's funny that Ben and Matt say this. I think everybody says this. You know, you become who you surround yourself with. Ladies and gentlemen, there was no call before this call. Say, hey, yeah, the dress code is all black today. You know, look at the screen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't realize that either.
We're all on the same wavelength here, and it happens all the time. Like it would be some random day, and like I'm wearing red, Matt's wearing red, Dan's wearing red, and it's like that's a vibe for the day. Like we got to get after it. Like that's crazy.
Yep.
It's the uniform.
It is.
And for me, I've always taken it as if there was a group that I was, and I'm not saying some kind of cult shit, but if there was a group or like investors or millionaires or something, a person that I wanted to become, I always took what their standard of life was, and now that was my accountability. Like if I saw a millionaire and I was like, okay, he gets up at 6 a.m., my accountability is now 6 a.m. If he gets up and I did it to the point where like if I saw the guy wearing like floral, I remember doing this, wearing flower like polo shirts, I was buying floral power, like anything I could do to embody that energy and become that person over time. Like I didn't care what it was. Like if I saw he had a certain wallpaper on his phone, damn, I'd change in mine. Like everything that I could do to change who I was to who I wanted to be, because who I was at the time, I didn't like that guy. And I like who I am now.
And when you start to think about that and you start to implement that stuff, like for example, me and my buddy, we're hustlers and we are ditching our small town because it just sucks everybody in. And everybody's going to work that plant job. Everybody's going to do the same thing. And I mean, if you don't act now and if you don't start changing now, you're going to be stuck in that same town with those same people for the rest of your life. And it's just going to be depressing and it's just going to eat at you more. It's going to bring you down more. So you just got to act on it now.
Bro, it's crazy. Jordan's 18. So it's like I can't even imagine. Again, like I feel like I'm 100, where I'm like, oh, the social media is so crazy now. But it's like having access to these If I was 18 and I had direct access to who I am today, and Ben and John Johnson and Bob Sadai and Dan and all on a daily basis, and at 18 I had the self-awareness to be like, I got to get the fuck out of here. I got to go do better for myself. I got to move out of my town because I don't want to get sucked into that. Like I never had not a single one of those thoughts. Like I was just working a factory job trying to make as much money as I could so I can go party for 2 weeks. I was just working just enough so I can go party, and that's all I cared about. Like that was it. I never had an idea about like I need to move out of my hometown. So it's crazy to have that exposure. So I don't know, man. It's an interesting time for sure, and I think it's, as long as you and everybody else that has those thoughts actually does it and implements it and stuff like that, I think it's always impressive, of course, because I didn't have anything remotely close to that thought anywhere near 18.
I mean, you start to change. John Johnson has gave y'all genuinely the most valuable Discord server on the internet. And you take advantage of it. I mean, I took advantage of it. I was only in here for 2 weeks to a month, and I put in the hours, talked to Matt, and now we're closing 2, 3, 4 deals at the end of this month. I mean, it's possible. I came from genuinely nothing. John Johnson has gave y'all the resources, and if y'all don't use them, you're going to be same as everybody else in your town. And it sucks to say it, but that's how it is. That's how it is. You got to put that work in. Money.
For sure. The only reason it's fun to know what it feels like to have money is to be like, remember when we didn't have money? Can't believe we're spending this amount of money. Like, that's the only reason it's fun. Like, to be like, oh, this is so remember when we were sleeping? Like, I know what it's like. I slept in a camper, couldn't afford propane to heat that thing. Like, I know what it's like to be poor. That's the only reason it's fun now that I'm not. Like,
No,
how many times have you been doing something where you're like in the moment, whether it's you and your old lady, whatever it is, you're by yourself and you're just like in that moment and you're just looking, you're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, and you think about it's that time of like when you couldn't even imagine. I don't even like, people ask me all the time, like, did you think about, I was like, I truly don't really remember a time when I was 18, 20, 21 where I thought of, because I feel like maybe I thought, no, like it was so far from a possibility or even my mind. Like, I never thought about like one day I'm going to be in $1 million house or I'm going to do that. Like, I never had those ideas or thoughts. So now I just sit there and it's just one of those moments where you're like, damn, like that's crazy that we're on this vacation or that we're doing this or doing that. And it's
driving golf,
those are the things
going around.
Yeah, I'll drive the golf cart around my community, go to get a haircut and, going to the grocery store and stuff. And it's one of those, like, that's what I do. It doesn't feel
real to a point. Like I remember growing up in like Greenville, the upstate, like a little small town of the state that I'm from. And I remember like we would go to the beach and I was always like, dude, why can't we just live here? Like, I just want to live at the beach. Like, this is the best. And now it's like, hey, you got that, baby. Yeah. Dude, it's possible. If you can hold it in your head, you'll hold it in your hands.
100%. I think it's so important, like what Matt was saying. Ben, I don't know if you ever thought about like your life, becoming what it is right now at a younger
I didn't think it'd go this far.
Well, here's the thing, I didn't expect myself to be in a position where like I was going to foreign countries and learning languages and shit like that. That all just happened because I was focusing on the process, right? Just focus on that next step. Focus on getting the next deal. Focus on talking to that next person. Put in one more lesson, put in one more hour. If language learning is your thing, like learn 10 new words and like use them in a conversation. Talk to a new person. And then like all those little steps are going to put you in a different position where now like, okay, now I have different possibilities. Now I can do these different things that were not possible before. So if we can just break it down and not think, so grand about, I want to get this and that, but just focus on what I got to do to get one step ahead of where I'm at today, I think that's going to ultimately propel us in the right direction, and we're going to get further faster just focusing on what's to come next.
Yep. If you even study guys, in my opinion, who are at the highest level that are doing entrepreneurship, like Alex Ramosi, he makes a to-do list of 3 things every day. And he's like building $1 billion empire. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, that guy only does 3 things a day. It's like, maybe we don't need to be doing 15 things. We just need to do 3 things really fucking well.
Imagine just putting one property under contract per week. You know, that's so realistic, guys. I can't even tell you. It's so realistic. Stop the distractions. Start talking to people. Put one property under contract per week. 4 properties under contract.
Just
per month.
overcomplicating it. Like when I first came into this Discord, I seen people, they were doing like live streams on like Facebook and YouTube, and they would just go on Zillow, they would type in a market, the city, whatever it was, and then they would just call each and every one of those listing agents and just like have conversations with them and blah, blah, blah. And there was like 3 or 4 of them, and they would spend like 6 hours a day. And they'd get off the call. They'd be on the phone with an agent for 20 minutes, and nothing really was said. There was no real progress. Like there was no real. They didn't really have an agenda. They weren't really trying to. And then they get off the call and they'd be like, "Good job, guys! Like good rapport building. Add them to the blah blah." And I was like, and then I would just see this randomly all the time of these guys doing that, and I was like, after 30, 60 days, 90 days, what progress did you really make in that scenario? You put in a ton of time. But are you anywhere further to your goal than where you want to be? So like John was saying, like one contract a week is simple if you're dialed in to what you should be doing. Like again, you can throw that net out and it could be as big as you want. Go on Zillow and call every agent in the country if you want to and try to secure, but you're going to spend the next year doing that. But if you hone in your skills and your knowledge and you're doing the right activity, getting that one contract out a week is extremely simple. AB said it. We all say it. Don't overcomplicate it.
Because once you get that system set up, I'm really starting to run into this. Is like my system is like in the mornings, I'm just taking in the PPC leads, converting those, setting up for what it needs, the next stage. And you get to a point where it's just like, all right, we've got 4 people that need offers this week, and you sign 2 contracts, and you're just like, I forgot about them. Like, oh shit! Like I literally signed one on Monday, and I was like, I didn't even know we had a deal in Florida. Okay, cool. Just blocked it up because it's like it's just at that stage. Like that's just where it's at. It's like it's a really cool feeling once you get there, but you just got to stay doing the activity.
I just got one that came back. It was a deal that I was working on like 2 months ago, and then he came back and was like, "Okay, I'm ready." And I was like, "I don't even remember what this lead was. I got to look at what this is." And I looked, and I was actually able to restructure it better and got it under contract, and then we sent it out, and then a buyer was interested and asked me a question. I forget does it have an HOA or something like that? And I was like, honestly, I got to go look. It's been like 2.5 months since I even looked at this thing. It's been so long. But so those are, it's always fun when that comes around because then you're like, this is crazy. Like this is.
Yeah. I made a mental note that I wanted to say this on this Discord the other day. That was my second deal that I've signed in the last like 2 weeks that somebody else tried to do a novation on. Lied to the seller, was like, yeah, we're buying it, try to do that whole spiel instead of actually telling the truth. This is the honest truth. If you're in real estate and you have to lie to make money, you're bad at your job. That's it. Like it's so easy to just be honest and make a lot of money that if you're still lying, you don't have the correct education of how to articulate well enough to perform these transactions. Partner with somebody until you do. Stop lying because it gives us a bad look. And then we have to repair the relationship that the seller has with even the idea of selling their house because they just got ripped. So stop lying.
If you're like brand new and you're a wholesaler, how would you say that to a homeowner that doesn't feel like you're just kind of like ripping them off? Because like looking at it from their side, you're basically telling them like, hey, I'll just sell your house to someone else and I'll make money off of it. Like what would you say?
Well, first you got to stop telling the seller anything. You got to listen to them. Ask them what are you going to have happen, understanding their situation, understanding their distress, or understanding whatever their situation may be, and them from what they're looking to get, plug it into your system and go, where could this fit into my business? Does it make sense? And then you say, these are the options with what my company could provide. And then if they don't take the offer, then it just doesn't fit in the box. And I mean, yeah, there definitely is like some persuasion skills and communication skills that you can like level up. But first, you just got to realize what fits in what box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I don't know. I didn't know if let's say I called someone like right now. I wouldn't know what to say. Like, I don't know if I'm telling him like I'm a property investor or this and that. Because I'm obviously not, and I'm not going to buy the house myself. And I'm going to just flip the contracts. I was like, it was just like a question that was like in the back of my mind. Like, what would I even say in the first place? To like even start this conversation or to start this relationship off. So yeah, that was actually pretty helpful.
Yeah, man, I would just focus on finding people that want to sell, and then wrap the call up by saying, okay, well, I'm gonna do some research, or I'll reach out to one of my partners, or call them a manager or somebody. You know, get a third party on the phone, somebody that's closed some deals, and bring it to somebody like Ben, somebody that's closing novations and actually showing you like what that process looks like. Or if it's creative,
And
you
those
know,
conversations get easier. Go ahead.
or if it's creative, you know, bring it to somebody like Matt, you know, somebody that just understand that situation that the seller's in. Okay, this guy's got to move. They owe more than their house is worth. They have a low interest rate. I think this would be something that Matt would take a look at.
Yep. And again, those conversations, people overcomplicate. If you haven't heard enough seller calls, you haven't been on the phone yourself enough, you build up this beast in your head of like what those calls are, and you're scared, or what happens if they say this or ask this question and all of those things. And it comes from reps and repetition. But like once you know the subject matter well enough, like creative, if I get on a subject to call or seller find, like John can send me a lead right now, and as long as I have the information I need, like address and stuff, like I'll call, and there's no worry in my mind that they're going to ask me something that's going to stump me, or I'm going to get stuck on, or I'm going to have to call them back, because I know the subject matter so well. I know all of the objections they're going to ask or could ask, and all of that. So when you're talking about like what do you say, Ben was saying too, like you're listening first and foremost. You can't make a diagnosis if you don't understand what the issue is first. Like going to a doctor, they can't tell you what they're going to do for you until they figure out what's wrong with you. So I need to hear what's going on first before I can make that diagnosis of what might be best or what we can do. Might not be what's best for you, but here's what we can do given what I'm hearing and what your situation is. And maybe you like it, maybe you don't. But I think it just still goes back to understanding, learning as much as you possibly can, getting involved with people actually doing this business, whether it's 2 to 5 deals a month, getting involved with those day-to-day activities that they're doing, hearing those seller calls, and then just getting those reps in. That's the biggest thing you can possibly do.
100%. While we were on this call, I had a seller reach out to me that I talked to before the call. They're looking to sell 2 little plots in Memphis, Tennessee. And I explained to them, you know, if I could work with you on the timing, would you work with me on the price? And they said they would be down. So look, I'm going to offer this guy probably like $500 for the 2 lots for them both. He's calling me because he needs this money. He needs to cash out. So if you guys want, I can make this call live. You can see how I talk to people, how I'm going to actually
Rip it.
I'm going to rip it, man. Like you'll see
Let's
how
go.
I talk to this guy. These lots probably aren't worth more than like $3,500 each, like 35 and 35, so like total maybe $7,000. So I can call this guy for you guys, and you can see how I talk to him.
Dude, I love the game.
And I will talk to this guy and negotiate with him live. But we gotta see some happy Matts in the chat if you guys want to see
You
that.
mother.
I want to see a happy Matt.
Why is that the
in
new
chat.
flyer? You're gonna make me drop one too now?
Well, we gotta see it, man. I don't know how many of us really want to see this. You know, I gotta see a couple happy Matts in the chat.
Good morning, fellas. Thanks for letting me in. So first, I obviously want to say thank you to all of you guys taking the time. You know, look at, for instance, Sam answering all of his questions patiently. Dude, that's insane. Like, you don't get this kind of access to people who are making so many deals with zero entry. There's no barrier to entry, right? And so I appreciate that. And obviously we get to learn from other people's questions. But I have a question for Matt. I have a deal currently, well, actually a couple from a client that I'm working with on from Dalton. We called him yesterday. He had a property off market for like $100,000, and we were calling him about that to see if we can get that for like 70. He ended up selling it Friday for 65. So I just asked him if he had other properties. Like the ARV in that area was like 180, you know, fully rehabbed. But he did say he had other properties. He just became the executor of an estate from his father. He has like 5 or 6 plots of land. And so he has a 22-acre lot. He said he's willing to give it to us for like $200,000. Meanwhile, right next door to him, the lot next door to him was 10 acres, sold last year or like within the last 6 to 7 months for $20,000 an acre. And so Dalton said he'd allow me to close the deal, but I was just wondering when a plot is surveyed, does that mean it would have a address number, like a street number on the lot? Because the lots next to him do have like a street address. His lot, like on the tax assessment, his lot doesn't have that. So does that mean it wasn't surveyed?
Is this one of the estate properties or no?
Yes, it is. So he went through the
Yeah, I
probate
mean-
process. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Maybe whatever you're about to say will.
Right, so I made sure to ask him, if he already went through the whole probate process, and he said, yeah, of course, in order for me to close on that deal, on Friday, I had to, go through that process. So he's the executor of the entire estate, like he finished the probate process and everything. He just said, he thinks the property is surveyed, but he's not sure. So,
If he thinks it, it's probably not. Just
Okay.
because, and if it was, it may have been surveyed so long ago, depending on how long that property's been with them in whatever in the estate or with the family. It could be 30, 50 years ago that it was surveyed. So it depends on, for land, I would probably want that surveyed for sure. Like residential, I have one right now, a duplex in St. Louis. And the title company just asked, does the buyer want to pay for a survey? And he said, no, I'm not going to pay for it, just because you could look and you could see it's no question of. But with land, you could be looking at a whole 100-acre field and he owns 20 of that, and so surveys are very important. So it costs a couple $100 or $1,000, whatever it's going to be, but it would probably be in the best benefit to get that surveyed, and that should be able to get you. I don't know much about land in that sense. I know when I was doing it very little, I was using an app called Land ID. And so plugging in the parcel numbers and all of that, it'll show you the identified outline
Oh,
of that
okay. So
plot.
yeah, I'm looking at it now. I do have that on, through the county. I'm seeing that, but I just didn't. It doesn't have like a number street address on it, which the ones next to him do. And so I was wondering if that, involves that. But yeah, I do have the entire parcel number and everything. It's here. Okay, that was my question though. So you
Yeah,
would
like
just
Andre was saying, you need to get it entitled. It'll have a legal description APN number. So the APN number is that, depending on the county or market, it'll be that 16-digit or 12-digit number, and that's
A PIN?
your parcel number. Yeah,
Right,
your PIN
it's-
number, your APN, your parcel number.
Right, I do have that here. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, yeah, so that was my question. So this guy's got like 6 pieces of land. The property we're gonna send him a deal on today is a 12,000 square foot lot in a mobile home park. He's willing to give it to us for 8, but the AR, like his next door neighbors, sold for like 26 and another one 61. And the ARV in the area, there's like 120 grand, 150 with, mobile homes on it. And so, hopefully I'm going to close on that today. Matt's going to do Dalton's going to, underwrite it. So
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Nice.
and hopefully these other properties he has, we're just going to do something like an ovation. Because I mean, if the property next to him sold for $20,000 an acre and he's giving us 22 acres at 200 grand, I think there's definitely a spread there to make some money. Especially if he'll do it for like 60 to 90 days. Because he is motivated. He has 5 other brothers that are pissed off that he ended up getting the estate, and so he just wants to get rid of the properties to pay them out.
There you go. Well, keep us posted on that, man. I'm gonna go
Yep,
ahead.
absolutely.
I'll call this seller back for y'all so that you can see how I'm gonna negotiate with him. I'm really gonna come in around $500. I'm thinking maybe like $1,000. For the 2 lots, and we'll see. If he'll accept it, and we'll go from there. But I think he's kind of itching for some money because he called me. I said I'd give him a call in 30 minutes. I didn't call him back because I hopped on Coffee with Closers. He called me in the middle of the show, so he's got to get this money, man.
I actually got a question.
All right,
So
man.
I
We'll
heard.
answer your question. We'll make this call really quick. If you got
Oh,
a
okay,
immediate
yeah,
question, definitely like drop it in the side chat here.
yeah. No, well, I'll probably ask it later then.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Their name was Carrington. All right. Let me know if you can hear the audio in the side chat. Hey, Carrington. How are you? I'm well. I'm well. I appreciate your patience. I was taking a look at those two lots. Now, the one on Farrington Street, that's about 5,100 square feet. Sure, it's the one on Farrington Street. I'm looking at it. It says it's about 5,100 square feet. Okay. And I'm sure it likely has access to utilities already. Okay. And then I'm also looking at the one on Swift Street. That's about 5,000 square feet as well, just under. Okay. Um, Now I understand that you're looking to sell these sooner rather than later. Is that right? Okay. Now, would you work with me on the price? If I could close, as soon as we could get clear title. Okay. For an offer like that, if we can close as soon as possible, meaning we can get the paperwork knocked out today. I'll open up escrow, and then once we get title back, we'll close with cash. How's 750 for the two? Uh huh. I definitely understand that. If you were to list them, you might be able to get that. If somebody was interested in buying it, it'd sit on the market for a little while, and then on top of that, if you list with an agent, you may have to come out of pocket, for the commission to the agent and also the closing costs. But if I take care of those closing costs, and you don't have to worry about any agent commission, would 750 work for you? Yeah, I understand. So, and did you recently get the appraisal? Where are you coming up with that number that it'd sell for 3,000? And are you talking about the tax assessed value? Okay. Um, well, I mean, I'd encourage you, if you were to look to get, 6K for it to list it on the market. I can't tell you, that they'd be able to close in 30 days or that anybody would want to pay. And the reason I say that is there are bigger lots that are sitting on the market, listed for sale, um, around that same price point that you're asking, and they've been sitting, 100-day plus on the market. Right. Uh-huh. I mean, I definitely understand where you're coming from. Did you have plans to maybe develop these lots at one point? Were you looking to maybe build on them? Mm-hmm. Okay. And I mean, was it mainly because after building on the lot, do you think maybe the juice wasn't worth the squeeze, or what was kind of the reasoning? I know it sounds like you had maybe another lot to look at, but why did you ultimately decide to build there and not on these two? Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so, are you thinking of then, if you don't work a deal out with me, are you gonna just develop them yourself? If we couldn't come to an agreement today, were you thinking of maybe just develop them yourself? Okay. All right. Well, I might be able to work with you, but I really do need to be able to purchase these at a price that makes sense, for me to buy them. I understand that the tax assessed value is, 3,000 or whatever you're telling me it is, but um, if I'm gonna offer you the convenience of closing as soon as possible, uh, I would ask, that you'd work with me on the price, and I would need it at a price that makes sense, for me, because what I'm looking at this lot to do, I'd actually have to come out of pocket to add value to it. And so, I'm not sure if you're looking at kind of what's selling in the area in terms of single family or manufactured homes in that area, but it's not as it's not like these properties are going 200,000 um, per property. Are they selling? And so, okay. So what your plan is you sell the lot with the plans to build. Yeah, I mean, my main concern is, if I'm gonna say I were to not want to just maybe put a mobile home here, or if I wanted to actually, come out of pocket to make a new build, the other houses in the area, none of them are new, so none of them would be comparable. And slapping a new build in this area, just I don't see that we would get a return there. So I think that maybe the best play would be to maybe slap a mobile home down, and then at that price point, I'd really want to get access to the lot, at a price point that makes sense for me to want to put that mobile home there and rent it out. Uh, And so I just want to make sure I'm on the same page. You sell these, somebody has already purchased that property, or you're gonna build that property and get it listed for that 117 or 135. Okay. Okay. Um, I definitely hear what you're saying. I'm just kind of curious, if it would work that way. I don't even know why you'd want to sell it even for close to 3 grand. Okay. Um, I mean, it's definitely an interesting strategy. I think it's a different uh, take, on the lot than I would have approached it in terms of that new build, just because of the area. It would be kind of risky, for me to want to build something new in this area with no other new builds. So that's kind of where I see there could be potential value of just maybe leasing the lot, and allowing somebody to plop a mobile home down there. Though at that price point, with that in mind, in terms of what I think I would want to do with the property, I'd need to buy it at a price that makes sense for me to lease it to somebody else. And so that's where I'm coming in with my offer. So uh, you're saying that. Uh huh. Well, I mean, would you consider 1,000 for them? I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if that's like an unreasonable ask, but I know you'd probably want to list that. If you want to get closer to that price point, and I'm not sure how long it'd take for that to sell on the market. And then I know that you don't think it's a lot in terms of the closing costs or the commission, but that is money you would have to come out of the proceeds for to close. But what I can offer you today is just that convenience of a quick closing. As soon as we get title back, on these 2 lots, I'd be clear to close, and you could have $1,000 in your pocket. Standard is typically takes about 14 business days, to clear title. I'm not sure how backed up my title company is for files in Memphis, so I'd ask, today's the 10th. Let me pull up my calendar here. If we could go on ahead and get this done by the 30th, would that be a good timeline for you? Okay. So where are you headed? Oh, nice. Okay. Nice. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, if you'd want, I think we could definitely get this done. Um, what day are you leaving? Would you want to would you want to push maybe to try to get this done by the 24th? All right, so you'd feel comfortable we could go on ahead and move forward. 1,000 for the 2 lots, close by the 24th. Let's see here. That would only be 4 business days, so I'm not sure if we could have clear title by then. Oh, okay. Well, I don't think that I'll be able to go above 1,000 on this one, unfortunately. Okay. Is it something that you'd still like to consider? Is it something you think you'd still like to consider? Okay. When would you like me to follow up with you? Okay, so that will put us at the 12th. You said that you're leaving the 24th. Let's see. You're looking to get this closed out before you go on that trip, right? Okay. I mean, I'm already gonna take care of the closing costs. I'm at 1,000. You're at 1,500. You want to call it 1,100 and we get this done? On Friday? Okay. All right, well, let's go on ahead. Let's touch base then on Friday. And you said you're getting back what day? The 30th? Okay. And what do you think is going to change between here and Friday? Okay. Awesome. All right, Carrington. Well, in that case, definitely keep my number in mind. I can give you a call back on Friday. What time should I give you a call back? Okay. And if that other investor comes, and with around the same offer, that I offered you around that 750, and he's not willing to move up, I mean, are you going to be disappointed in that offer? If the other investor comes, pretty low with their offer, and they're not willing to negotiate, are you going to be disappointed with their offer? I mean, we're talking about a potentially $1,100 here. What is really there to discuss? I'm just kind of curious. I mean, it's Okay. And I'm just curious, like they didn't offer you to sign anything to move forward at that price point? Were they really serious at that price point? Okay. So, I mean, where do you feel like you'd want to be at to get this done today? Okay. I mean, that other guy that you talked to, do you know if they're local or? Okay. All right. Well, if you want to go on ahead and reach out to them and reach back out to me, um, I'll be here. Um, and we can kind of take it from there. All right. Take care. I don't know, man. I don't know if that guy is really motivated to sell, man.
Nah,
What do you
dude.
think, man?
I think he could have been converted. I think if the setup would have been a little bit better, like if you could have had some lots that sold low nearby and gave him those numbers and been like, based off of taking 7% out, you'd walk away with this. And then I would probably instill like the fear of like, and that's on the market. We can't guarantee that close. With this, you have the security of knowing I'm going to be getting this. Yeah. Damn, that was good though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I could feel like he was kind of indifferent. At one point I felt like and he came down and he was like 1,500.
Yeah.
It's just hard to say because I think realistically,
Dude, sometimes I'll literally like the way that I tell it to my assistant is I'll just shove a seller. I'll just be like, all right, hey, listen, be honest. What do we need to do to make this happen? Like, I'm tired of going back and forth. Is this going to be a waste of my time? Or are we going to make a deal? And they're like, well, I mean, I do want to sell. And I would just be like, do you want to sell the house or do you want to keep it? And they're like, well, we want to sell. And I'm like, okay, then let's make something work because right now I've spent 5 minutes of my time burning my time.
right. I like that.
And like
But
just shove that seller and they're just like, all right. It just kind of like sets the tone of like, I'll walk too, bro. Like I don't give a damn.
yeah,
The seller bully.
I think realistically they would probably sell if he were to list them on the market for maybe $6,000
Yeah.
both of them. And I said that, I literally told him that. I said the convenience that I can offer you is this $1,000, but I'll close as soon as we get title. And like I could come out of pocket
Yeah.
$1,000, or $1,000 to
Yeah.
give him this for
Yeah.
the property. So after closing costs and commissions, that's
54,
about
yeah.
5,400, and if I'm in it for $1,000, it's 4,400. Cool little
Yeah.
4,400.
Yeah.
Or I maybe could lease it. I could lease the land. Might be somebody out there that has a mobile home that they want to go and post up there, and I can lease it to them for like $250 a
Yeah.
month, something like that. Then they
Yeah.
have a place
Yeah,
to
you
be.
could. Yeah. Yeah, I think it could definitely work. There's still a deal there for sure.
Yeah, I'll follow up with him on Friday, but it's important, ladies and gentlemen, to if you don't close on that call, to set a date to follow up.
I got a question about
And-
that deal.
What's up, man?
So like he kept saying that like he had plans drawn up and he wanted to like go to the bank and stuff. Like, what was his idea there? Like, was he trying to like sell the lot or was he like trying to build on the lot? Because he sounded like he was a little bit all over the place, at least from what I heard. I don't know. I may have just been confused.
He's just going to develop it, meaning he would either build a house there, put a condominium there, put some shit there.
Right. If he wanted
That's all
to
it
do
means.
that, why would he try to sell the lots? Like, was he not going to make any money off the development of the property or something?
I mean, I don't think that there's money in this neighborhood, man. None of these houses are selling. There's no comps. If he's gonna, why would you put a new build in an area where it just isn't supported.
Right.
Like that's what my mentality is behind it. I think there's probably value in leasing the land, to somebody who maybe wants to sit a mobile home down there. But I don't think that this is going to be a real like play, for somebody to want to buy it and build a new house there. That's just my thought.
Yeah, that's
Dude, I
because
like this though. I like doing live calls in here. That was cool.
Oh yeah, man. We get down with the live calls, man.
I need to rip a couple
You do,
sometime.
man. I gotta hear this novation pitch that you've got live.
Should I do one? I could call it a
Yeah.
PPC lead.
Hell yeah. I
See if I
got
get somebody to answer.
yeah, listen, I'd love to listen to one of your calls. I also have a lead that I need to follow up with, which is also PPC
Yeah.
from Google.
Yeah.
I'll listen to your call, man. We'll hear you rip one, and then
See if I
that'll
see if I
fire
get
me
somebody
up.
to answer.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. This is it. I love this.
Come on, Kimberly, answer the phone. All right, we'll try that one. Oh my God. See, this is living proof that it's not the leads, it's just you. Everybody gets shitty leads. Hi, is this Lisa? Hi, Lisa. This is Ben Williams with Hawkeye Investments. How are you doing? Yes, ma'am. Oh, hey, give me just 1 second. Let me see if I can fix something. Okay. Can you hear me all right? Okay. Oh, I am so sorry. Well, hey, I just wanted to give you a quick call about 280 Sparta Street here in Spencer. It looks like our company had actually received your address, was looking for a cash offer. Is that right? Okay. Are you still living at that property? Oh, you may already have it sold. Oh, when did you sell it? 290. Oh, 290 Sparta Street?
I've got that one. Yeah, some woman out of Alabama, I think she may get 280. And she asked me what was my bottom dollar, and she said that anyway, 240, 240 for that one. That's what she's wanting to, give for 280. It's 240.
Okay. And how did she get to that number?
We may have that number.
Well, I the number of 290, I'm just curious how you guys got to that number.
You can't go by what somebody else has got in the same town. It's like comparing a Pinto with a Mercedes.
Okay. Well, I'm curious, Miss Lisa, and I think you bring up a good point of, comparing properties. How do you think that we
Is in a heck of a lot better condition, and it's a larger house. But 280 is 1100 square foot. Okay, and 290 is 2400 square foot.
290 is 2,400 square foot. Oh yeah, okay, yep, I see that.
290 has been, and I mean, I put money into 280 also.
You're not living in either of those. Are they vacant right now?
Is vacant right now.
Okay.
Right next door to it.
Okay, so your son's living in 290. Okay.
But still, he's going to have 30 days to get out, and which he's going to be with me.
Okay. So did you put these properties on Zillow? Okay. I'm sure she did. She loved your business.
Yeah, she cranked it up. She said, "I can get you or whatever," and I'm like, 6% commission and all.
Right. I know. Dealing with agents, I don't blame you. I would do the same thing with my property.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm curious, was this property 280 Sparta Street, was it a rental for you? Did you live there or what was going on?
Intended to live there. But I let some veterans, out of the goodness of my heart, let some veterans live there. And, so, and it's been painted and everything, and it's got sheetrock, and, I bought a new flooring for the new owner to put down over there, and fixtures for the new owner to put down in 280.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a new flooring, and it's got railing, and of course it's not on the deed. But anyway, it's two full bathrooms and 290.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. If we could get an offer approved by our company, I mean, realistically, when are you looking to have the property closed and, money in your account? When are you really looking to have the property sold and have the money in your checking account? How quickly do you want that to happen?
Yesterday?
Yesterday? Okay. They call me the wizard around here, but I can't work magic, but I'll do my best, okay? Okay.
I'm noticing prices cranking up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't understand.
Tell it to me.
Pay Social Security's overpayment. My late husband, they overpaid him, and he was a Vietnam veteran. Okay. 26 years older than me. He was a Vietnam veteran. I was with him for over 23 years.
Oh my gosh.
And so since I was married to him, I have to pay over $135,000 plus another $40,000.
What's the 40,000 for?
Because my son.
I don't think I understand.
And he was a senior citizen, but anyway, it's an overpayment. And you have 175,000 right there.
Right.
And so I mean, when you have all this stress, on you, let's see, I also have, well,
let's
I
do
may be,
this.
I
Let's do
may be
this.
having the 2 acres. I've got 2 acres for sale on EV Road. It's just land, but it's no restrictions, and that's very rare to find. And I've been getting all kinds of people, whatever, wanting to get that.
Here, let me do this, Miss Wilkins. So it sounds like you have a decent amount of properties. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have one of my colleagues, Haley, give you a call, and she's gonna set up a time to have somebody come by 280 and 290 Sparta Street. They'll take 5-10 minutes to take a look at the property, so that way our underwriting team can analyze it and take a better estimate of what we can pay for it. Now, is 290 vacant?
No, my son's in 290.
Okay,
And
would we be able to get in contact with him so we could see the inside?
I got picture.
Oh, you have pictures. Perfect.
290.
Perfect.
That's accurate.
Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna have her give you a call, and she's gonna get pictures of 280 and 290, and we'll knock these first 2 properties first, and then we'll worry about the land.
Yeah, because I mean the land, I'm getting several bites, whatever, and it's $50,000 for 2 acres, no restriction. In the middle of Tennessee.
Right. No, I hear you. I hear you. What time works best for Haley to give you a call to set up those appointments?
I probably know something maybe Friday.
Okay. Could she give you a call today and set up a time for after Friday for them to come over? Did she call you today to set up a time for after Friday for someone to come over and see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And another house that I am selling. But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. How about we do this? Whenever Haley gives you a call, can you give her a list of those addresses and we'll look at them all at one time? Just because for me and you go back and forth, I don't want to miss any of the value that those property brings. And if we're looking at a bunch of them, I don't want to miss something. I just want to be able to give you the best of service. So if you can give me that list, I can look at them all in depth.
Maynard, Street, on Zillow, the ones on Sparta Street. Those are mine.
Okay.
The 2-acre EV Road, which is level, and they're right next to each other. Square, they're not like weird lot.
Okay. Okay. Hey, Miss Lisa, I'm so sorry. I've got to step into this meeting, but I have it down where Haley's going to give you a call today and get that list and get those appointments set up. Okay. I'm so sorry. I got to run. I'll give you a call back. Okay. All righty. You have a good day. Bye-bye. There you go.
I love that. Step into this meeting, man.
Dude, people just talk, man. I ain't got time.
It's true.
All right. Stepping in the meeting with the boys.
Yes, sir.
I'm done talking. I got my point across.
They the stream you're sharing has an echo when I speak though. Because it's of the Discord.
See if I can do this. Oh. I gotta turn this off.
Yeah, there we go. Man, should I give that guy a call back and ask if you do 1,500 today?
Let's see here.
What do you think?
Connected.
A lot of people saying yes. Can you hear me, Ben?
Yeah. Rip it.
I should give him a call back and ask if he'll do 1,500.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude, I'll do this all. I have one I could close this afternoon.
Okay.
If I chose to.
Okay. What's up, Vince? We got Vince coming in the chat. Let's get I'm gonna hop back on here, but the stream didn't capture the call for the first one. I got to make sure that I'm on top of this stream, y'all. I need to hire somebody, man, to manage these streams. Get this going.
Bro, we really need to start that channel. Like if we started a coaching channel, like we had channels for like live calls and coaching.
Game over.
That's a wrap.
All right, let's call. All right, I'm gonna give him a quick call back.
Dude, build some urgency. Like right when you get on the phone with them, be like, "Hey, you'll never believe this, but I just stepped out of a meeting. And we actually got cleared to actually be able to give you more funds for the property. I wanted to be able to give you a call because today's the last day that we're running this special."
I didn't really position myself that way. All right, I'm gonna just give him a call back, and I'll see. I don't know, man. I think realistically, I don't want to go above 1,500. He was at 1,500 though, but all right, fuck it. We're gonna give him a call back, man. Let's see.
Dude, I would, dude. I wouldn't give him 1,500 just because it's what he wanted. I'd give him 1,450. I got.
Hello.
Hey, Carrington.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Carrington,
Hello?
you there? Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to give you a quick call back. If we went on ahead and we did 1,500 today, would you want to move forward?
I'm still waiting. I still want to wait and see what my other investors coming back with. If they can get everything approved for the number that we had initially discussed.
Okay, so if I did 1,500 just today, is that something you wouldn't want to move forward on?
Now without knowledge of the other offer from the other investor. Because if I do 1,500 today and then they come back on Friday and say, yeah, we'll do the 5, that would just lost out on $3,500 for the same property.
Okay, when was the last time you talked to this guy?
Literally, after I got the phone with you.
You called him right after you called me?
No, he had sent me a text.
There's something going on with the phone, man. I can barely hear you.
I'm coming through a country area. The reception's a bit spotty.
Okay. All right, man. I mean, you said to me, I was at 750. You were at 1,500. I want to be at around 1,000. But if you want to really do this today, I'll give you 1,500.
Yeah, well, like I said, yeah, I can definitely circle back and forth with you on Friday after I've spoken with him and have an answer for you then.
All right. Well, I'll definitely keep this in mind. I'm looking at a few other lots in Memphis. But I mean, if you were at that 1,500 price point, I think that's going to be the max that I'd be able to offer you. But especially, if you do want to close quickly and kind of get this taken care of before you head off to your trip on the 24th, we would need to get something signed like today to run title.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So is it something that you would want to do?
I'm just gonna wait until Friday, but if it waits after the trip to close, then that's fine as well.
Okay. All right, then we'll go on ahead. We'll touch base on Friday.
Friday.
All right, take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Nah, man, that's some bullshit.
Bro, you know what we should have done is I should have called him in between your calls and been like, "Hey, man, we're that cash offer company you talked to the other day. I'd give you $4." That's diabolical. Yeah, oh, for sure, bro. I love taking over like cash offer deals and turning them to innovation because they just got lowballed. So it's like, yeah, let's go.
Oh man, let's see. I got this other lady She's like all over the place though. She was that call that the guy was in here talking about. He witnessed. I gotta call her back today. Who else do I gotta call? I'm just following up with some leads that I bought. They haven't picked up the phone, but where I bought them, you know, they have a return policy. So let me check on those, see if they got a refund or what's the deal here. And then there's this other one. It's already kind of listed for rent, so I don't know kind of where that stands, but he said he might consider maybe like a lease option or something like that. But I don't even know if it's really like an ovation because he really does want retail, top of the retail market for it.
Do you have how many like leads do you usually come across a day?
Like PPC, you know, I was spending some money. I was generating some leads, maybe like 2 to 3 a day from PPC for a little while. Right now, I've just got cold callers calling, and I'm blasting SMS. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 that have come in today from cold call. And I mean, they're like kind of leads. You know, they're like people that raise their hand. You know, they say they might be.
Yeah, bro. PPC for me is the best.
It's the only way, dude.
PPC for me is.
After I got,
dude, I've got I have a partnership with this dude, and he like literally pays for all of my marketing, and we just split everything. But he's spending like fucking He's spending like $8K a month on all my innovation. But I mean, he makes it back.
Oh yeah, and more.
Makes it back. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You get that back.
It's just a really like, dude. He's literally like multi-millionaire, and like his entire business model is just like giving me cash for marketing. So like my business right now is 0 expenses.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's I spent.
There's dudes out there like that.
Yeah, they exist, man. I need to find some. You know, if there's anybody in here that wants to spend some money on marketing, hit me up, hit Ben up.
Yeah.
I spent $3,500 on these leads with this pay per lead company. I'm not affiliated with them or anything, so I haven't been like promoting them. I'm just trying to test it out, you know, spending my own money and that kind of stuff. And that's where I got this $0 down sub 2. And you know,
where from? Bro, you know I've never done a sub 2 deal.
Really?
Like ever. All I do ever.
You got to, man.
Like
you got Matt Riley in here.
I've negotiated one before. I don't even know how. Like some dude asked me to try, and I was like, "All right, fine." And the guys signed. They did the deal. I didn't even make any money out of it. I was just like, whatever, just doing it.
Yeah, it's in Killeen, Texas. So it's a veteran, or not a veteran, active serviceman in the military. Got to move. You know, he was called to go somewhere else, and yeah. He's
oh, dude, that'd be a hack.
Yeah,
because I have like a deep connect with a lot of yeah, bro. Yeah, and I was in the military, so it's like, hey, I'm the guy. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, we could do something with that. We could do something with that.
I'd definitely love to.
Yeah.
Pharaoh's asking how much does a pay per lead cost? It's like I'm paying anywhere from like $275 to $600 for a phone call. I've got another one I can use though.
This doesn't even make sense. When people just randomly text you, I'm gonna text you the address of an ugly house. Let me know if it works out. And I'm just like, dude, I'm not gonna spend my time skip tracing this one address. It's crazy.
Got to talk to people that already told you they want to sell.
Yeah. I just want to text you back, be like, just don't do it.
We gotta get Ben locked in here, man. We gotta get you some exclusive access, man, to some of these channels we got. So I don't know. I got a lot of people to call, man. If you guys want to just kind of do the fly on the wall thing today, Ben, if you want to make calls, and I'm down, man.
Dude, I'm down.
You down? Let's run it.
I'm down. Yeah, I'm down. I have one meeting in 20 minutes, but it's actually. Do you know who Abraham Hicks is? Have you heard of that person?
The name kind of sounds familiar. Who is it?
Yeah, Abraham Hicks is like this. I'm like super big into like spirituality and law of attraction, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I'll have to send you some stuff offline. People don't want to hear about it, but it's just like A lot of stuff about like raising your vibration, consciousness, stuff like that. And she's like a guru in that space. And she's doing like a live call. Yeah, the manifestation lady. She's doing a live call today to like exclusive members of this club that me and my assistant are in. So we're like, we're like asking, like significant questions, like personal questions to like a lady that's literally communicating with like the void of the universe, which sounds crazy, but if you know what I'm talking about, So,
I like
yeah,
it.
I'm hyped about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm down to hang out.
For sure, for sure. You want to make some calls? I can run some. You can run some.
I'm down. Yeah, for sure. Go ahead. I'm about to use the bathroom, so run yours and then I'll get ready.
Cool, cool. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll pop another call up. This is gonna probably be a longer one because this lady is just kind of all over the place. Let me pull up the lead info. I got so many tabs. Anybody else have that disorder where you guys got like a million tabs open on Chrome, or is that just me? Am I just weird? I don't know if that's like an entrepreneur thing or what's going on. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pull up my prop stream. I'm gonna close all these other tabs to the right. And her property. Okay, so I got two. Yeah, I mean, I'm down to give this lady a call too and just kind of let her know where we're at. This Charlene lady. Because I gave her a call the other day and she didn't pick up. Hey, Vince starting to upgrade. Yes, sir. Bought an ultra-wide curved monitor last night. There you go. I've been seeing Vince, man. He's making moves, y'all. He's closing deals.
Are you about to call back that one that was like all over the place?
I'm deep into Joe Dispenza.
Hey, I'm about to call a different lead. Nobody's heard from this lady yet.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Hey, Charlene.
Yes,
This is John Johnson. How are you?
I'm good.
Good, good. We spoke a little while ago about those two properties that you've got on Youngblood Drive in Trafford.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I've been doing a little bit of due diligence, in this area. I know that Trafford is kind of one of those areas that's not really too close to anything. It's kind of out of the way a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So, um, what's kind of the plan with this? Are you more looking to kind of just sell this as is and not worry about staging that kind of stuff, making any improvements to the property? You're just kind of looking for a as is offer. What's kind of the goal here?
Yeah, kind of as is offer at the moment.
Okay. And do you have a timeline for how quickly you might be looking to get that money in your account?
No.
Okay, so you're not really looking to sell sooner rather than later?
I mean, I would sell sooner rather than later if something comes along and somebody's willing to buy it as is.
Mm-hmm. Have you gotten any offers on this so far?
Not yet. You're the second person I've talked to, but nobody has come back with an offer yet.
Yeah.
I just recently started reaching out, trying to see if anybody would, though. I haven't like sat down and like hardcore like searched for somebody. I filled out a couple of things from some companies that I found online from a search, but that's it so far.
I mean, I'm gonna level with you. I think that people may not have been putting this at the top of their priorities, just kind of because of the area. I understand, it's in Jefferson County. It's one of the more popular counties in Alabama, but it's just the area. It's really out of the way. And so I'm not really sure, if you will be willing to work with me to be at the price point I think I'm going to really need it at to make repairs and then list it, in a couple months from now.
It all just depends on what that number is, but would be willing to work with anybody.
Okay. So what I'm kind of thinking is, I know that I was looking at the parcels. The bigger parcel kind of engulfs that smaller parcel, but you said you're willing to sell them both.
Yes.
Now I know that you sent me pictures of the guest house and the main house, and those were great. It gave me some an idea of kind of like what condition the property was in terms of, it's more like in original condition. Needs new appliances, pretty much everything. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. And so I'm kind of thinking, realistically, right? For me to go in there and make improvements to both properties, what I'd think to do would be, that guest house. I'm not sure. Does that have a separate address?
It does. I believe it's 75 Young Blood Drive, but with like the power company, they have it listed as 71 Young Blood Drive rear.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I know with like the 911 office and everything, they have it listed as 75 Young Blood Drive.
Okay. I mean, if we were closer to around 30 grand for this, do you think that that's something we might be able to work out?
Possibly. Let me talk to my husband when he gets home today, and I could let you know for sure.
Okay. When would you like me to go on ahead and follow up with you?
You can follow up with me tomorrow.
Okay. Perfect, Charlene. Well, I'll go on ahead. I'll follow up with you tomorrow, and we'll see if we can work something out here.
Okay.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you.
Take care. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. She owes 27 on it. She's not really walking away with much, but the property needs a lot of work.
Yeah. And it's not the most, it's Alabama. No hate on Alabama, but just not a lot of shit's going on.
Not a lot of shit's going on, but I talked to an agent. They said that there are investors out there. And they were like, yeah, well, they want it typically under that 100K price point. So if I can get it for 30 and we can sign them for 50,
Good day. Good day.
It's a win-win for everybody. She's saying like, oh, well, probably about 500 a month, for rent. Follows 1% rule. And I think maybe they might be able to get a little bit more. But we'll see.
Yep.
30K might be a
That's
deal.
cool. Absolutely. All right, I'm about to hop off. I'm about to go to this event thing. If you guys are still on after, I'll probably hop back in.
Yeah,
I'll probably be in here a lot more. This is fun. I'm still calling. So like.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'll tap you in, man. After your call, we've got like an exclusive voice. Like we'll hang out and we'll mastermind. Throughout the day, everybody's calling doing stuff, and I'll get you in there, man.
Yeah, hit me up.
For sure. Hey,
right,
well, it was a pleasure, man.
Peace, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, dude. It's always fun. See you, dude. Peace.
Take care. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the #1 most valuable real estate community in existence. If you haven't already, you need to invite somebody to be in proximity with us by sending them that link, discord.gg/REI Rev. And Jordan is asking, is that sub 2 deal the only contract you've signed out of the PPL thus far? Yes, it is. If anybody in here is interested in the company that I'm working with, shoot me a DM like privately. I'll respond. Make sure you're not falling for any of this crypto nonsense that's going around. There have been a couple people paying people, like people are scamming with my name, like they're reaching out and like pretending to be me. I'm not ever gonna ask you about anything crypto related or trading, none of that stuff. I'm strictly real estate. So don't fall for any of that stuff, guys, and make sure that if you're talking to somebody on Discord, it is me. You can verify me by going to Discord and looking. But if you guys got some money to spend on leads, pay per lead, I'd be happy to share with you, kind of what's working for me. And yeah, just know that it you got to pay to play. But you can make money if you're a closer. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, invite somebody you think will benefit from being in proximity with us. All right. Send them that link, discord.gg/REI Rev. Fire show today. Amazing stuff all across the board. Deals locking up, deals being negotiated, everything in this call. And we're doing this stuff for free. Man, there's no better place to be. Okay? Really take advantage of this opportunity. Get loud, get active, and get after it. Love y'all. We'll see you back here tomorrow.